Hey everybody, welcome here live to the Logan Power Show. It's me, your host, Calvin Logan. I'm having a ball, I'm having a blast. Every week, I'm always learning something. I'm like a sponge, always willing to know more and to always give back. This is the time of giving, time of understanding. We're live here at the Scotts Grand, 5060 Dorchester Road here in Charleston, South Carolina, 29418. I got with me an author who's making a lot of paveway through the industry. She's making a difference. Miss Stephanie Gibbs, how you doing today?
Hi, how you doing? And thank you so much for having me this morning.
Thank you for coming on to the show. She has here a great book, The Best Girlfriends Ever. I'm telling you right now, this is a book you want to get into your collection. Her information is on the screen so you can get a hold of this book today. We have a picture here of her lovely daughter. She was 6 years old. Unfortunately, her daughter passed away a couple years ago at the age of 14. But Miss Stephanie, I know that with this book, The Best Girlfriends Ever, you're an educator.
Yes, I am.
And you also an author. How did you start this book, The Best Girlfriends Ever?
Well, after Tiffany passed away, she passed away from a disease called Rett syndrome, which is a neurological disease that affects girls in their infancy stages. So she lived to be 14 years old, and after her passing, I just felt a void. I was at peace with her passing. I had a lot of help from the community and hospitals and a lot of agencies, so we knew that the disease was progressive. So it was almost like I was just learning to deal with the disease. And after she started to seem like she was getting better or starting to come into her own, she just slipped away from us. It was a peaceful passing. But after that, I felt a void because she was my only child. I really did not know what to do with myself for like a whole year. And I've always drawn. I've always doodled everything. I'd be in college, everyone would be taking biology notes or whatever, and I would be taking notes, and you would see doodles all around the papers and the notes, and I just realized that that was my true passion. Okay. And after, during her illness, I went back to school, and I graduated from Midlands Tech, and I wanted to learn more about the brain and from a child's point of view, how it works, how they learn, how do able-bodied children learn compared to children that are disabled, because I wanted to learn more about my daughter and how I could help her. So after her passing, I started to draw again, and I started to observe children, and then I started to think about my childhood, and I started to think about how my girlfriends were there for me, and how the community and how women and doctors and nurses and men played a part. They were very helpful. Okay. And they nurtured me also. But it was the women. I kept seeing women and all around me just really being so supportive. And I just started thinking about girlfriends and how little girls in the classroom just bond with each other, either if it's bonding or if they're not bonding. Okay. If they're not getting along, and how little girls tend to grow together. And I just started to think about how my experience was growing up and how my experience was with my mother and my aunts and the women in the neighborhood. And I grew up in New York. So back in the day, everybody was your mom, not like today where you had that community feeling. So that's where the book really generated from, and it just started to grow and snowball, and God was just kind of just leading me just on this path of just about how little girls should grow up and not wait until they get to college to have a sorority. You should always have some type of sorority throughout your life. Okay. Because it helped me. I'm still friends, my best girlfriends, I'm still friends with the same girls I grew up with growing up. Tiffany's girlfriends were there with her for 10 years while she was going through her experience with Rett syndrome, and they adored her, and they really helped her to thrive. And even the doctors mentioned that when she really got ill, they asked if we would please go get her girlfriends and bring her to the hospital, because that's who she needed to see. And when she opened her eyes and she saw them, she was just you could just see that even though she couldn't speak and she was just very, lethargic from the medication, that she could feel their presence. And they absolutely adored her. And everything they did, they included her. And she was not able to walk, she was not able to talk, but they took the time. These little girls took the time to really love and really have an impact on Tiffany. And therefore, I think Tiffany just changed people's way of thinking about children with disabilities. And they need to be loved also.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, for those who are out there, if you have experienced a loss of a loved one, young age, old age, and want to have someone to talk to, this is a great person to talk to. Miss Stephanie Gibbs. Her information is on the screen. Tell us what you think. Understand this mother, for instance, had a girl, in her 30s, and to lose a child at the age of 14, and it seems that at this point in time, her friends became the ministering people to her, the comforting, bringing people together, families coming together. So they were sort of like, for instance, pastoring to you. After you lost a loved one, you decided I'm going to write a book and make a difference. Now, we know that you're an educator, you're an author, and from this experience and what you've experienced in life, is being an educator, from your personal experience, a skill or a passion?
I think it's both. I think more so it has to be a passion first.
Okay.
Of course, we need the education, we need the training, but there's some things that a textbook or the classroom just cannot do. And you really have to have a passion, and you really have to have a sense of humor. You really have to really think on a child's level. There were things that I did not know that I would even have to ask, like dealing with boys. I can play with girls, I can work with girls all day long, but boys were such a challenge that I had to seek advice. And I got some great advice from men. Well, Stephanie, you need to get down, you need to get dirty. You're too frou-frou. You're a girl. And you're thinking like a girl. You have to start thinking like a boy. And so I read books, I ordered some books geared towards boys, and from there on in, I've just been I'm more comfortable. And we just have so much fun together. So it has to be a passion.
Gotcha. Hey, for those out there that are educators, your teachers out there that got your experience, your skills, let us know on Facebook and Twitter what has worked for you in the classroom. If you're a student, you can talk about a teacher who's impacted your life. There's a certain type of fundamental, certain skill that they've taught you, that have impacted your life. Let us know. Tell us what you think. Tell us how you feel. My personal experience is, look at myself. I have been an educator assistant for a lot of times. I do have 3 kids. My little girl's 8, and my son, 2 sons, 1 5, 1 is 1. So I can testify. I get dirty and I get clean at the same time. So I'm kind of transparent. A lot of OJT. My mother's an educator for 30 plus years. So for me, I got a lot of OJT also. She did a lot of put me in the classroom at a young age, and that's what I can testify to. I'm looking at you and telling you from personal experience that it's hard work. Our educators, me personally, an educator minimum, I'm talking about coming into the game, at least should be $38,000. Our top educators should be making at least 6 figures. That's just my personal opinion. No, I don't want to fight against y'all. That's just my personal opinion, because educators do a lot. You're asked to do so many things. So for all you educators out there, I believe you should get a raise. So talk to Mr. Arnie Duncan. Tell him, hey, work it out and make it happen. Because I believe you should get paid. If you're a teacher out there, shout out to your school. Let us know who you are, because we want to let people know that you're making a difference at your school district. If you feel that your teacher needs a raise, send us some feedback so we can promote your teacher. Well, just back on yourself. You're doing some good things. You're making your book. you're educator, you're doing things in the community. Where do you see yourself in the next 3 to 5 years right now, or where you want to be?
I would like to be able to do more books, illustrate, write, illustrate. I still want to be in the classroom with preschoolers. I really would like to obtain my degree, finish my education, and I really would like to do more things to do outreach in the community, working with children, self-esteem, working with girls. Again, the book goes back to the best girlfriends ever. I want to teach girls how to maintain friendships, how to take that even further. Hopefully they can learn skills that'll help them in the workplace, in school, some anti-bullying, because it's a lot going on. It doesn't stop. And the more that I read about what's going on in the classroom, outside the classroom, it just seems like children have so much going on. Not like how it was. I mean, we just got off the bus, get milk and cookies, and we were. It just seems like they have so much going on, and it never ends. So now I hope in the next 5 years that I have at least 2 more children books under my belt. I'm able to give back to the community financially. I'm able to bring more awareness about Rett syndrome, this disease that's affecting girls, and give back to the Rett Syndrome Foundation, and just maybe go to Washington and help get funding. They're making a lot of possibilities. They're trying to work on a cure for Rett syndrome, so it needs more funding. It's not very well known. It coincides with breast cancer awareness month in October. So a lot of people don't know about Rett syndrome, and they too go hand in hand, because it's a breast cancer is a women's issue, also a men's issue, but it's a women's issue, and Rett syndrome is a women's issue, and it needs to be. I just like to see it come out in the forefront more awareness be given to Rett syndrome.
Okay. Hey, for those that are out there that you have a family member that may have had Rett syndrome and experienced the same thing Mrs. Gibbs, let us know so we can connect you with her so you guys can make that bill possible. I believe any bill can pass. Anyone can work together. Let's make this happen. Let's find a cure for these things to help people, because my thing is, if we have a cure, we can actually make it happen. We can make the difference. We can actually pave the way, because I believe people all be healed. No one should be sick. I believe that everyone should be given a long life, and no one's life should be cut short. But if a life has been taken, you should want their life to be impacted in such a way that they can testify to so many people. And today I want to ask yourself this one question. If you were to go off to be with the Lord, what would you want your legacy to be? And think about yourself. If you're a parent, if you lost a child at a young age, or a child before you went off to be with the Lord, and you would like to discuss that with us, let us know, because I want to hear how you've overcome this by keep it moving. I'm not going to say that you're going to forget your child, because you're never going to forget your child. I'm never going to say that the pain's not going to go away, because it's never going to go away. There may be times it's going to hurt. But to know that Miss Stephanie is moving forward in a positive manner instead of going backwards is something that we definitely our hats off to, and we salute you for.
Thank you.
And the one question we want to ask, I know this is a tough one. When you lost your child, now that was your only one, did you ever consider saying, hey, I wanted to adopt, I want to have another one because of the void situation?
The last 2 years, I think after putting her to rest, and I had time to really just calm down, this nurturing feeling came back again, and I did want to have another baby, but because I was getting closer at that time to 50, and then I hit the 50 mark in September of this year, I was like, no. My fiance, like I said, was so sweet. Henry, he was so sweet. He asked, do you really want to have a baby? The window's closing here. And I really had to sit back and think, why did I want to have a baby? What was the real reason why I wanted to have a baby? And I had to be honest with myself, because we talked about it, that I wanted to replace, or I wanted a baby just like Tiffany. And I know psychologically I can't bring her back, but I even wanted it so much as to look like her. I didn't even care if she had Rett syndrome again. I wanted Tiffany back, and that was not a reason to have another baby. And I had to pray on it, and I really had to pray on it, and I asked God to help me understand, not lean to my own understanding. And I heard him say, this is your purpose. The book, what you're doing, you're working with children. This is where you are right now. And this is what you need to do to push forward to get to where you need to get. And having a child right now would not be conducive to what you're doing right now. So I understand I will never probably have another baby, but I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm happy with what I do for a living. I don't consider it a job. I really consider it fun. I look forward to going there, and when I leave and I turn off the lights, I'm not stressed when I go home. So to me, I consider that a blessing. I touched a couple of kids' lives, and so right now, I know I'll never have a child. Adoption, we haven't even crossed that path, but I think where we are right now, I don't think we'll have any. We have enough between Henry's job and mine. I think we work with probably combined 30 children a day. So we have a lot of children to talk about because he works, he's ex-military, and he's working with at-risk teenagers, and I'm working with 4-year-olds. Okay. So we have a lot of kids between us.
Yeah, we got a lot of kids. See,
we have a lot.
See, for a lot of people that don't know, when you're a teacher, you've adopted a child.
Yes.
Okay. So when you get into that classroom, you may have accepted 30 new children into your life, and so I believe that Ms. Gibbs is doing what she's called to do. She has a lot of children each year, okay, and those children have a good mother that's taking care of them. So when they grow up, they can say, Ms. Gibbs, you remember me? I was a little man, a little girl back when I was 4 and 5. I've grown up. I remember what you told me back in class. Yeah. So from one educator to another, I know for me, my mother was a phenomenal, probably a pioneer, and she taught me a lot. So and she, for instance, she had me at a late age. She's off to be with the Lord. That happened she passed away in 2000. So I know that she made a difference, just like Ms. Gibbs did. And I thank God for people like Ms. Gibbs, my mother, other educators like Miss Gwendolyn Thomas, lady in college who blessed my life, Miss Anna Faig, my godmother, Miss Myrna Nobles, a lot of different people that I know that helped me pioneer to the man I am today. And I know that with that, it makes it happen. Yeah. But I thank you, Ms. Gibbs, for coming on to the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And like I said, I'm raising funds to have the book self-published.
Gotcha.
So they have the information, and it's long going. It's for however long it takes to do it. But I'll be working on the next book and come back and see you.
Oh yeah, definitely should come back and see us. The information for getting the funds available is on the screen. Hey, that's all my time here. My name is Calvin Logan with the Logan Power Show. We're going to quick commercial break. We're back with our next guest. You have a great week. See you in a minute.
Thank you.